Hey everybody, this is Diver216. I wanted to get back to you with the second part of my How to Make Coins Without Spending Any Money series. The one thing I didn't realize before I finished with the last video was that they do have new objectives instead of this being blank all year like it was last year. If you do the first getting started challenges, they have a weekly set that if you do all of the challenges, you get a free pro pack every week, which is really awesome. It also gives you a bunch of contracts. I think it actually, if you do all of them, it gives you around is it around 500 contracts along with the Gatorade ones. That means you can get around 700 per week, which is really good. A couple of things are a little dicey because you have to occasionally do all of it in one game, and sometimes some things are a little random, and you do have to use some of the Madden season players that they give you, but it's generally pretty easy. The whole title of this one is going to be about the Style Master challenge sequence. Now, I know that's a weird one for people to try and go through, and it's kind of weird to make that make that the emphasis of a series, but as it is, everything that I like to do kind of flows through the Style Master, and it's just a little bit easier for me to try and just go ahead and it's everything I do in terms of like making coins just comes from this. So if you haven't noticed, the it's just like last year where you do the ones on rookie, ones on pro, ones on all pro, and then all Madden where it's 10, 40. You have to have each style at 10, 40, 70, and 90 respectively. Now, if you do all the challenges, you get one coach with a boosted style for each one of the styles, which you can't. I don't think you can auction or trade them. I've looked online for that. I don't believe you can. But if you do all of them, you also get a 92 overall Quentin Glover or yeah or no Glover Quinn and Tony Romo. They don't. They're not so overpowered that they're going to be ridiculous. Ridiculously powered in later in the game, but they're also not going to be very auctionable because EA did do something to help us out with this, and where they put in about 40, I think it's 40. No, it's 39. 39 boosted style bronze and silver players, and it just to help us get into the game a little bit, or help us get through the game a little faster, or get to the style a little faster. And because it's a little easier, I think it did drop. It made it a lot less advantageous to go ahead and sell the Tony Romo and the Glover Quinn. And, which I mean, hey, if you start out the game with a good pocket passer and a great ball hawking safety with it's great in coverage. I mean that kind of pays for itself. So don't really worry about trying to sell those. I don't have time to go through all 39 of the style of the boosted style cards, but I will post the link to MUThead.com where you will be able to figure out like which ones you can get. Generally, try and buy those on the weekends, and try not to spend a whole lot of coins on them. Like maybe about 2,000 or so on each, because it's a little easier to do it that way. Um, because everyone's going to be opening packs a whole lot, so it's just a little bit simpler to do it, to not have to worry about it. To not have to worry about spending a whole ton of coins on it. And actually, you could try and flip those, but they're going to do a second style at some point later in the season where they do dual styles. So try and hang on to them. Maybe hang on to them for later, or maybe even try and sell them for a higher price. Um, now I am going to look at something else too that is a really big. It's not going to be as helpful for this first series or the first series of style challenges, but it'll definitely be more helpful for the second one. And it is trying to do the Schefter's stars. Whoops, nope, wrong spot. Go into sets, and each week, just like the Rising Stars and the next gen players from previous years, they pick a guy who they'll give dual style or double style to. The dual style gives him a plus, it gives him one extra than the double style. I would argue do the double style because it's still a pretty darn good player. This week's is Shaq Thompson. I was gonna do last one for Ryan Shazier last week, but I just kind of didn't have time. So I'm gonna actually go and pick a couple up on the auction block because I'm recording this on a Wednesday night. It's cheapest to get those on a Wednesday. Um, so let's go check out. He's a right outside linebacker. And shifter stars. Buy now price is about 8 to 9K. So I think he might actually go back down to 9K again. So I'm probably gonna buy this one, and I'm actually gonna buy two of them. And actually, if you feel up for it, buy a couple of them. Don't just buy one or two, because you might want to try and flip them later. And that's actually even the subject of my next video series, or my next video in the series about how you can actually try and make some good investments for your future. Like I actually found these for a lot cheaper like last night. So Tuesday and Wednesday are really good to get these Schefter stars as cheap as you can get them. So now I'm probably going to use them in a lot of the solo challenge stuff to try and burn off the contracts. But then I'm gonna use them to get the dual style stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how you put together the roster for this. Now, one of the best ways to do this, and I'm gonna go into my kind of crummy roster, is I'm looking at speed run. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is lineup options, and I'm going to generate best lineup by speed run. Now what that'll do is that will show me what the maximum my speed run can be. So it's 83, and what I've noticed is if I want to max it out, I mean, I probably am going to need to get because what is it? Jackson is a boosted style. I'm going to need to get a center and a right guard that are both in a speed run style, or even a right tackle. Well, actually, no, he's a boosted style as well. Never mind. But once I do that, I should have the speed run up to 90. You just want to go in the auction block and find some cheap goals that can just kind of fill in, because what you don't really need is you don't really need to you don't want to spend a whole lot of money because you're just going to be using your main players anyway. Now, what you want to do is you want to go to your actual sets. You want to go to your collection, or no, your binder, your collection, and you want to just promote to the starter. You want to take your main lineup and promote to starter all of the boosted style guys, or the guys who are just speed run. And then what you're going to do is, I already had this little set up here. I'm going to change active lineup and use this lineup 3, which is a boost, which I have a run stuff maxed out almost. If you look at my backups are all the actual starters I use. So I don't really lose anything with my team. It's just I just don't have the maxed out team. And what I'll do is, because I can go into the run stuff one, I will go ahead and go in there real quick. And because I can do this style really quickly here. Just give me a sec to do this. Yep, play clock's at 10. And if you give me a minute, give me just a minute. Come on. Come on. Oh. Might have to cut this out. But once I do the kickoff, I should be able to go into the lineup screen. I can auto reorder it, and that'll basically give me give me my actual starting lineup to be able to play these games with. And it's a nice little handy feature, which I'll show you once I get into the game. Okay, return middle. That's good. And all right, Dre Archer, I will just run him out of bounds. Make sure I can chew up all the clock. For some reason, I'm using Colin Kaepernick, even though his throwing accuracy is really terrible. So I'm going to go to depth chart and auto reorder. What that'll do is that will put all of my starters on defense into their actual roles. So I got Jay Ratliff, Brandon Mebane, Walden. He was already there, I think. Teo, Marshall. Yeah, basically everybody's where they should be. Oh, whoops. Oh no, Griffin. Well, no, well, yeah, Griffin's the free safety, and oh, geez, he's actually a 71 rated cornerback too, huh? That's interesting. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this particular video. Be sure, guys, to like and subscribe. Give me any comments about what you might want to see in the future with any video series, especially if you want to see me try and do a little more gameplay as well. I'm gonna try and do a quick turnaround to show you just some investment tips. Just do a full investment video. And I'm probably gonna do that in a couple. I'll release that in a couple of days. Um, that's about that. I think that's about it. Be sure to also check into my Twitch live streams. I usually do those on Sundays and occasionally during the week. But yeah, I will see you guys later.